Number 2, A.J. Land. Number 3, Stoll. Number 4, Dusage. Number 20, Anderson. And number 22, Costello. And for the home team, your Bixby Spartans will start. Number 1, Gage Knight. Number 3, Anthony Walters. Number 21, Chance King. Number 22, Sean Lewis. And number 44, Griffin Stewart. Head coach Lance Kite and his 9 assistants. And your referees, Jasper.
Well, at the end of this game, we'll be 3/4 of the way home on day 1 of the Spartan Invitational here in Bixby on krefsports.tv, and we welcome you to the host team's opener, not just of this tournament, but of the season, as Bixby begins its 2024 campaign in the first round of the Invitational Tournament against Ponca City. We're off and running as Bixby wins the tap and has the first crack at it. Gage Knight, Anthony Walters, Chance King, Sean Lewis, and Griffin Stewart are the first 5 for Lance Kite's Spartans, who went 15-11 a season ago as Lewis misfires on a 3 to get the game started. It's cleared by Jackson Dugash, and here comes Ponca City on its first trip down the floor, and Zayden Stoll dribbled it on the baseline, so a turnover for the Wildcats on their first possession.
Try to get aggressive early on. The pass just a little bit too far ahead.
Backdoor cut, and the pass picked off as it ricocheted to Costello. Ponca City's 1-0 after defeating Southmore on Tuesday to get their season started. Costello shovels it to Stoll, the fadeaway jumper from the foul line, rims off, and Stewart clears for Bixby. Knight racing into the front court, and around the horn they go. They find Chance King off the front of the rim on the corner 3. And Costello with the rebound for Ponca City. Grayson Singleton along with Connor Pasby here. Glad you're with us on krefsports.tv.
Already 2 early good looks from 3 from Chance King and Lewis.
And Lewis steps in front of this pass. Behind the back trying to keep it in play, but back to Ponca City. And Lewis there again. Onto the ground. Shovels it to Knight. One more ahead to Walters. Surrounded by a thicket of Wildcats. And he draws the foul. And Bixby will trigger in from the baseline as the foul was called on the floor.
This is a cage fight early here in this first quarter. Just a struggle for both teams. A lot of players flying around, diving on the floor.
And another pass that was intercepted by Ponca City as Costello came out of it. A minute and a half gone by. No score in this first round matchup in the Bixby Invitational. Dugash and now Stoll. Out to Elijah Buffalohead. Too strong on the three-pointer offensive rebound. Costello digging down and taking it away is Knight. Walter slows things up, goes cross court. Sean Lewis spots up for 3, too strong. And the rebound slapped out of bounds. And last touch by Griffin Stewart of Bixby.
Good skip pass to Lewis. Man, they're getting some really good looks. The Spartans are here to start this ball game. All the shots coming around the three-point line.
Bixby into the full court press. Ponca City breaks it easily. It's Landis, Stoll, Dugash, Buffalohead, and Costello, the 5 for Ponca City to begin the game. Costello watched by Griffin Stewart. Now to a cutting Dugash, and he muscles it in off the glass for the first points of the game.
Good job controlling that basketball and going up strong. Nearly walked with it, but good focus to get that one in.
Lewis bounces to Stewart, and this time the connection works and Bixby's on the board.
Great pass to get it away to the defender, and Stewart was able to grab it and put it up.
Bixby flying around defensively on the perimeter. Dugash thought about the three, didn't take it. Lewis nearly with another steal, and he gets called for the foul, trying to go through the back of A.J. Landis.
We take a look at that basket by Dugash. Good ball movement for the Wildcats to get that ball inside for their first bucket.
Adriel Miller, an early substitution for Ponca City, replacing Zayden Stoll. Ball up into the air, and Lewis comes out of there with it momentarily for Bixby and almost collided with the railing near the sideline.
Could have been dangerous over there. Just, man, they're aggressive on defense here in this first quarter. Everyone flying around, making plays, trying to get the basketball.
Buffalo Head bounces it to Costello, who can't control it. Walters comes out of there with it for the Spartans. Bixby went to regionals and lost in their third game there to end their season at 15-11. Ponca City hoping for a better 24-25 campaign than they had a season ago. This three-pointer off for Lamar Lewis, and back comes Miller the other way, racing into the front court and then dribbles it off his foot and across the baseline.
See a good look from Lamar Lewis, sophomore coming in the game, 5'10" guard that can shoot from the outside, and he got a really good look there on that last possession.
Connor Cook into the game, the 6'5 junior. So now Cook and Stewart in the game, two guys that are 6'5 or taller. Miller intercepts the pass, and it was taken away by Cook. Could have been a foul.
Yeah.
And now a whistle and a timeout taken, as Walters was in the middle of his shooting motion before Lance Kite took that timeout for Bixby.
A timeout to talk it over. Really both offenses so far in this first quarter having a hard time just settling in to this ball game. It's been a lot of racing to the ball, a lot of loose balls,
deflections, and both teams going at it. So the Spartans and Coach Kite want to draw something up and see if they can get a bucket here to take an early lead.
And this is something that you can see when it's your first game of the year.
Yeah.
Things can get pretty frantic really quickly.
Trying to figure out your team, what we got here. I mean, you don't mind the shots, getting really good open look shots from three, and this is a team that shot a lot of threes from a year ago. Bixby, a lot of these guys are new faces in the starting lineup this year.
Griffin Stewart has Bixby's lone bucket. Jackson Dugash, who is currently on the bench, now just comes back into the game at the timeout, has the only bucket for Ponca City.
So both teams cold to start the game shooting-wise. Inbound pass tipped away and picked up by Dugash. Another turnover for Bixby, their third. Good hands by Walters, but Ponca City recovers. Trent Wilson into the game for Ponca City, number one at that last timeout as well. Dugash in the middle of the Bixby zone, flips it over his head and in. A circus shot for Ponca City.
I don't know how he did that. I don't know how he got the ball off, but he did and made a heck of a play at the basket. That was a great take right at Stewart.
See the pressure from Ponca City. Knight has it in the corner, weaving his way to the bucket. Too strong on the runner, and the rebound out of bounds. Last touched by Cook.
The Spartans just need to finish. That's a good look this time underneath the basket. We've seen it from the three-point line, but that's a gimme. That's a bunny at the rim.
The deflection by Knight, and Walters goes to the ground to pick it up. So both teams having trouble holding on to the basketball in the early going. Stewart launches from downtown, too strong. And Landis goes upstairs to secure it for Ponca City. Trent Jackson in the game for the Wildcats. as Ponca City tries to figure out the Bixby zone. Dugash had it ripped away. Knight coming the other way for the Spartans.
They're doing great on defense, forcing some turnovers, a lot of deflections, quick hands on the defensive end.
Can they get something to go offensively? Knight launches from a couple of feet behind the arc, rims the basket twice, and Dugash vacuums in the rebound for Ponca City.
It's what they want, though. That's what they do, shoot the threes, and that's Gage Knight, a sharpshooter from the outside, a senior.
And a timeout late in the first quarter taken by Ponca City. The offense is yet to get going. Ponca City up 4-2.
Under 2 to play in quarter number 1. We're just getting started on KREFSports.tv.
Life doesn't wait for you to slow down. When you're moving fast and something doesn't feel right, Advanced Orthopedics of Oklahoma is here to help you stay in motion. Through our combined expertise in orthopedic surgery, non-surgical medicine, and comprehensive whole patient treatment, our team has your back and every other joint too. Ready to get back out there? Visit AOOK.com and let's move forward together.
Advanced Orthopedics of Oklahoma. Heal, recover, advance.
4-2 lead for Ponca City out of the Wildcat timeout. 1:55 to go in this opening quarter. Neither team having strung together any momentum offensively as of yet. Ponca City playing their second game of the season. Bixby playing their first game in 2024. Spartans remain in the zone. Miller bouncing it to Dugash, who has both Ponca City buckets, can't get a third, and Lewis sprints out of there with it for Bixby. On the run, this is Aiden White in the corner, and his three-pointer blocked out of bounds by Miller, who got back into the play.
Good job closing on that to get that block.
Love the push ahead. First the rebound by Lewis, and he takes it all the way and kicks it out to a teammate.
Lewis has his pocket picked, and Miller comes out of there with it. 4 turnovers committed by Bixby in this opening quarter. Jackson bouncing down low, Dugash trying to back down Lewis. Here comes the double, and he travels.
A lot of traffic. He had 2 guys on him, and it's Lewis with the great defense to force a turnover.
Lamar Lewis comes back into the game, replacing Sean Lewis. And into the game is Chance King as well. Connor Cook goes to the bench. Walters
Glides past Landis and leaves it for White, who airballed the floater. Here comes Miller for Ponca City. 1-on-3, shovels it out to Wilson. Skip pass, Landis, and now Miller attacking, and a whistle and a foul as Miller went slashing through the paint.
See if he's shooting this basketball, if they call it on the floor.
Looks like it'll be from the baseline.
Only the second team foul against Bixby. So Landis will toss it in from underneath the basket. Approaching 30 seconds to go in this first quarter. It's been a fist fight so far between these two. Long three-pointer from Thomas. Putman goes down.
How about that coming off the bench? He delivers from deep.
10 seconds to go. Lewis at the controls, slashing to the basket. Can't finish the layup, but he's backed up by Stewart.
There you go, hustle play following the shot for Stewart with the putback.
Landis has to toss it up and nowhere near to the basket. And the first quarter comes to a close. And a little bit of heavyweights feeling each other out in this matchup. It's 7-4, Ponca City leading on the road in the first round of the Bixby Invitational on KREFSports.tv, presented by Communication Federal Credit Union.
Does your family have a car loan? Or maybe more than one? I bet you've wondered if those monthly payments could be lower. Well then, refinance those car loans with Communication Federal Credit Union and let us try to lower your payments. It's easy, it's painless, and there's no cost to find out if you've got the best loan possible. Apply online today at comfedcu.org. Trust the financing to Communication Federal Credit Union, connecting with you.
Fowler Volkswagen, this is Skylar. Yes, we do have some of those on the lot. Oh, you want to buy 3 without even test driving them? Amazing.
It's that easy at Fowler Volkswagen. Visit Fowler Volkswagen of Norman, proud partner of OU Athletics.
We're presented today by Communication Federal Credit Union. Opening up your free student checking account and get a free debit card at Communication Federal Credit Union today. We're underway in the second quarter in the first round of the Bixby Invitational. Bixby trailing Ponca City 7-4 as a foul on an Adriel Miller drive called against Sean Lewis, his second personal, the first team foul of the second quarter. Grayson Singleton and Connor Pasby with you in the first quarter. A slugfest dominated by defense as Tay Akers weaves his way to the basket and floats it in. And Ponca City pushes its lead back to 5.
Good job coming to a stop and getting that shot off, but a dogfight in that first quarter. Offenses really could not get anything going. You've seen some hustle plays, a lot of deflections on the defensive end.
Stewart wrestles away the offensive rebound. He had both of Bixby's baskets in the first quarter. Chance King gets past Landis and scoops off the glass and in.
This is a great take all the way to the rim. He saw that no one was in the paint, and he took it up strong.
And now a turnover for Ponca City on the ensuing possession.
He had a good look from the three-point line at the top of the key, but got his defender to bite on it, and he was able to get it all the way to the rim.
Both teams with 4 giveaways in this first quarter plus. Lewis working on Miller. Weaves his way to the rim. The up and under doesn't go. Putman with the rebound and then loses it out of bounds as he collided midair with Walters.
That's what you like, though. Sean Lewis being physical, aggressive with the basketball is just everything but the finish. A nice move to get to the rim. You just got to finish those.
Stewart, here comes the double. Maintains possession and draws the foul.
Yeah, doing his best to get rid of that and get it to Chance King so he can get off a shot.
Akers called for the personal, his first. Lewis inbounds to Stewart on a nice cut out of the inbound, and much to the dismay of Ponca City's head coach, who is incensed on the sideline.
A great play, great screen to get Griffin Stewart open, the big man.
And Ponca City turns it over. Gage Knight running it the other way. Lewis gets by Putman, shovels it to Stewart, who is fouled going up. And Griffin Stewart will go to the free throw line. He's got 6 of Bixby's 8 so far in this game.
Yeah, he's been active, and he loved it. At 6'6", a big size to have underneath the basket. Good pass by Lewis to get it to your post man, and he draws a foul.
First free throws of the game for either team as Stewart misses the first one too strong.
I was wondering why the first quarter blew by. There's no free throws.
As sluggish as the first quarter was from an offensive feel standpoint,
yeah,
there were only 3 fouls combined called.
They let them play. There was a lot of bodies flying on the floor.
Stewart goes 0 for 2. Ponca City's lead remains 1. Knight nearly came away with it. Down low, Akers working against King, and he draws the foul.
Saw Bixby get the ball inside. Now it's Ponca City's turn to get it into Akers.
So now the game slowing down a little bit. Already more fouls called in this quarter. The minute and 52 gone by than there were the entire first quarter as Akers flips in the first free throw.
I think it's because both teams are finally able to get the ball inside. We didn't really see that, get a chance to see it in the first quarter.
Akers makes it a perfect trip. 11-8 lead for Ponca City. King looking for the high-low, tipped and picked. Dugash came away with it for the Wildcats. Buffalo Head, Landis. Cross court to Putman. Bixby still in the zone. They came out in midway through the first quarter. Akers trying to keep a hold of it. Got it on the interior, and he's fouled as Griffin Stewart put two hands on him, and they'll call the foul on Chance King, rather.
Akers just splitting through the defense, being strong with the basketball, avoiding that ball to get tied up, and he was able to get rid of it.
That's two against King, the third team foul against Bixby in the quarter. And Buffalo Head's inbounds pass is intercepted by Lamar Lewis, who gives it right back. And now Ponca City throws it back. It's hot potato down here in Bixby. Knight to the basket, lays it in as he did a good job to fend off Landis.
Yeah, out of all of that, he saw Ponca City give the ball up, and then Bixby gave the ball up, and Ponca City again. And then Bixby's finally able to get a layup off it. Gage Knight, who takes it in.
Now, Coach Kite isn't going to like that Anthony Watkins foul 40 feet from the basket. It's the fourth team foul against Bixby in the quarter, so with 5:09 to go, Ponca City will shoot on every Spartan foul for the remainder of the half.
Talk about racking up some fouls early in this second quarter. That's a benefit to Ponca City.
Wilson for three, back rims it from the corner, and Watkins goes way upstairs to get the rebound. Defense getting a little bit scrappy here in the second quarter. Knight for three, left it short, missed everything. Watkins went to the ground to save it. Cook turns around and finishes.
Those 50-50 plays. Good job by Connor Cook being in the right spot to grab that ball and see where he's at on the floor and lay it off the glass.
Bixby has its first lead of the contest. And another turnover. Watkins to the basket, can't finish it. Stewart with a second opportunity, and he's fouled.
Use that size. You'll see Griffin Stewart running the floor to be there off a miss, and he's able to grab it. And he had two Ponca City players who had a chance to get that rebound, but the size from Griffin Stewart able to get the offensive board and get fouled.
Stewart puts in the first free throw. Back comes Aiden White into the game. And Anthony Walters takes a seat for Bixby. Stewart goes 2 for 2, and now will come out. Caden Davis, the 6'2 junior for the Spartans, makes his first appearance of the season.
Now Griffin Stewart will take a breather. Man, he's been working hard in this first half. He's got a size advantage over these Wildcats. He's taking it to advantage here in his first half.
Dugash throws it away, the 8th Ponca City turnover of the first half. Knight at the controls, Bixby up by 3. And an offensive foul as Connor Cook couldn't get established to set a screen. First foul on Cook, and the 7th turnover committed by the Spartans. Dugash, Miller, a couple of feet behind the line. That's no good. Costello nearly had the offensive rebound. It's fought for and knocked across the sideline to Bixby.
Yeah, battle for it near the out of bounds line, right on Bixby's side. Spartans will win the battle and get the ball here.
The Lewises trade places, one on the court, one on the bench. 3.5 to go in the first half. Bixby up 14-11. Davis down low. Sprayed it back out to White. Here is Knight, knifing his way to the basket and threw it away.
He thought Connor Cook was going to keep going to the rim. He was trying to lead him, but Connor Cook gave up, and he came to a stop, and that ball just rolled out of bounds. You could tell Gage Knight was frustrated on the play.
Cook and Davis out. And Stewart and King back in for Bixby. Miller into the interior. Dugash against Stewart. Can't finish. And the rebound fought for. Knocked across the baseline. Last touched by Bixby.
Yeah, Dugash tried taking it to Griffin Stewart, but he went straight up on the play. Avoid a foul.
Costello at the free throw line. One dribble back to Miller. And good hands by Lewis, knocking it across the sideline.
Just those quick hands, constantly deflections on the defensive end.
Both coaches have to be ecstatic by the active hands.
Yeah. And fighting their tails off on the defensive end. Really, both teams are.
Dugash weaving his way into the paint. Did he leave his feet? He did.
Trying to come to a stop right at that free throw line, but he couldn't quite hold it up.
Aiden White checks out. And Anthony Walters is back in for the Spartans. Walters has it. Nearly lost it. Kept it in play to Lewis. Bixby's original starting five on the floor right now. Walters, and he traveled.
He left his feet and just had nowhere to go with the basketball, really no man's land. He was trying to find a guy in the corner. Usually when you go down the baseline and you get up in the air, you're hoping to find a guy in the corner, but he came down with the basketball and couldn't get rid of it.
Lamar Lewis back in, Sean Lewis to the bench. As Coach Kite continues to make changes and toy around with his lineup for the Spartans. Bixby playing in its first game of the season. Ponca City playing in its second. The Wildcats won against Southmore to open the year. And a foul from behind as Lamar Lewis slapped down on Adriel Miller. Bixby is over the limit, so Dugash will go to the free throw line.
Yeah, playing aggressive, over 5 team fouls, so Ponca City has a chance to get some free throws in here before we hit halftime.
Ponca City has only taken 2 free throws in this first half, and the third one is too strong.
Been a positive note, though, Dugash, the way he's been playing. I know it's a tough day offensively here in this first half for both teams and for the Wildcats, but they've had Dugash really battling down low.
He goes 0 for 2 at the free throw line, though. Both teams now 2 for 4 from the stripe. Lewis and King stepped on the sideline.
That pressure just got to him on the play. Had a hard time getting the ball past half court and couldn't make a good pass.
30-second timeout taken by Ponca City. We'll keep it here. How about this, Connor? 19 total giveaways for each team. Bixby has turned it over 10 times. Ponca City has turned it over 9 times. And I mentioned that both coaches have to be ecstatic by the way that their teams are flying around defensively. The counterpoint to that is that both teams have not taken good care of the basketball.
No, they haven't. And we feel like we've had a turnover on every single possession that we've had. We had a play earlier where I think we talked about it, but like Ponca City gave it away. Bixby got it. They gave it right back to Ponca City, and then Ponca City turns it over. So it's just been that kind of half really for both teams, but give credit to what they've been doing on defense. 2 teams that are defensive minded, and they're really showing it so far, just how fast they are on the defensive end, and they both got great hands in the passing lane, and a lot of deflections that have been leading to turnovers.
You wouldn't say Ponca City is a great defensive team. They gave up 73 to Southmore.
Okay, there you go.
Now,
Okay.
the problem is they scored 80.
Yeah, there you go.
So neither trend holding up in this game so far. There's a scramble for the ball. Miller back out to Putman. He's already hit one from that spot. Make it 2.
He's been a spark plug coming off the bench, a guy that just chills around the perimeter when he gets a pass to him.
Lamar Lewis goes into Putman and scores and has a chance for a 3-point play.
Great take. He gets the ball here, and it goes right past his defender. And Putman could not get there in time.
5 points combined for the two teams in the last 5 seconds.
Yeah. It's starting to pick up here.
16-14 game with 92 seconds to go in the first half.
Maybe this thing can get into a track meet.
Okay now, Connor.
Easy now.
Lewis completes the 3-point play. Bixby matches its largest lead of 3, 17-14. And Ponca City gives it away. Lewis down low, and he's fouled. And I believe the baseline official called it on the floor.
Yeah, starting to put some pressure defensively for Bixby. Force one there when Ponca City was trying to get the ball in, and back to the strike.
So the officials called it in the act of shooting, so back to the stripe goes Lamar Lewis, and he leaves that one short.
Both teams missing some chances here at the free throw line.
And Lewis goes over 2. Stewart climbs the ladder, and Putman, takes it away. Shoveling up ahead to Landis, cut off by Knight. Putman wanted to shoot it, didn't get it in time. This is Wilson from the opposite wing. Akers goes up top for the offensive rebound. Physical play on the inside between the Wildcats and the Spartans as we tick under a minute in this second quarter. Akers stepping back against Stewart. And to Wilson, and Wilson traveled.
That's just one that's just on the Wildcats there to travel. Not much that Bixby did defensively to force that turnover. See how the Spartans managed this. 48 and a half seconds left to halftime.
They have the lead at 17-14. Knight springs open for 3. And it rims the basket and falls off to Landis.
Yeah, he's had about 3 or 4 good looks from the three-point line.
Wilson taking on the towers, can't finish. The rebound ricochets to Dugash, who was on the inline when he caught it.
Yeah, came out of bounds, trying to get back in to grab that loose ball, but you could see his foot on the line when he grabbed it.
Adriel Miller back in, and Trent Wilson takes a seat, and now Trent Jackson sprints to the scores table to take the place of A.J. Landis. Knight brings it up against Miller. Approaching 10 seconds, and Sean Lewis throws it away, unable to connect with Lamar.
Yeah, you just can't have that. You're moving the basketball. You're trying to kill time and get the last-second shot, and you turn it over, and you give the Wildcats a chance here.
I'll update you on the turnover count at halftime.
I was about to say, yeah, it's picking up even more.
Akers with it, 5 seconds. 4. Akers into the front court, and he lost it out of bounds. It looked like Walters just put 2 hands in it.
No, it did. It looked like a foul that just was not called.
So Bixby gets it back with 1.4 seconds on the clock. Ponca City pushes up the pressure. Sean Lewis to inbound.
Throw this thing to Stewart.
And it's picked off by Putman. Well. We have reached halftime in one of the more intriguing games of this season and this tournament so far. A low-scoring defensive slugfest It's 17-14. Bixby on top. Halftime is next on KREFSports.tv. Insurance premium increasing? At Right Way Insurance, our top priority is helping you secure the best rates while ensuring a smooth and positive experience. As an independent agency, we work with a variety of top insurance providers to meet your needs. Call us today at 405-607-6014 or visit our website at rightwayinsuranceok.com for a free quote. We're also proud to sponsor Moore and Norman Athletics.
That's Right Way Insurance, 405-607-6014.
Have you ever seen an insurance commercial and ask yourself, are they really telling me the truth? Well, guess what? They're not.
Somebody runs a red light, and you think all of a sudden their insurance company's going to be all neighborly about it? Insurance companies aren't in the business of saving you money. They're in the business of keeping your money.
So remember, save our number in your phone so when tragedy strikes.
Call Rob and Will.
Exercise has always been part of my life. I've always been an active person. I was diagnosed with spondylolisthesis. I knew that eventually I was going to have surgery, but I kept putting it off. I felt like I was being listened to, and I never felt any pressure. The techs, nurses, PA, surgeon, everybody that would come and visit me did a wonderful job. I just feel like they gave me my life back.
After a car crash, life can be hard. You're hurt, stressed, and then, when you need help the most, the insurance company doesn't care. They drag their feet, question your injuries, and make things difficult. They put profits over people. At McIntyre Law, we level the playing field. We take on the billion-dollar insurance companies so you can focus on what matters, getting your life back. Call us at 405-777-7000. You deserve better.
Halftime here in Bixby as the Spartans lead Ponca City 17-14 at the break in their season opener. And going on under all of the lights has been a slugfest offensively. It almost seems like this game has been played in quicksand. And before I give you any of the numbers from the game so far, Connor, your first half thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, battle from the get-go. Right when this thing started, both teams really put an emphasis on defense, forcing turnovers, being active on the defensive end, and just causing so many turnovers in that first half. For Bixby, you liked what you saw from Griffin Stewart, the big man at 6'6". He was a problem underneath. He had some trips to the free throw line. He used his big body to grab some rebounds in that first half. Gage Knight had some good looks from the three-point line. I bet he'll make a few of those here in the second half because he had some really good looks, open three-pointer attempts in that first half. For Ponca City, Dugash, I thought he played well, gave them a spark down low. He's been having a battle with Griffin Stewart so far. He's doing a great job of that. And Putnam coming off the bench and knocking down a few three-pointers. So there's a spark there coming off a bench for the Wildcats. But, yeah, a dogfight, a low-scoring brawl here between both teams.
Only 2 three-pointers made in the entire game. They were both from Thomas Putnam, like you mentioned. Bixby has yet to knock down a shot from the outside. The pass that Sean Lewis threw, the inbound pass, trying to get to Griffin Stewart at the end of the second quarter, evened up the turnover battle at 12 for the first half. And look, we are very aware that it is both teams' first and second game, Bixby and Ponca City combined. And both teams have been very aggressive in terms of taking the ball away. They have also been equally as careless taking care of it.
Yeah, they have it. You just got to be stronger with the basketball. I guess you can give credit to what both teams have been doing on defense, but when you get that basketball, you got to be strong with it, and you can't have soft hands and give it away. And we saw that a bunch in the first half. Just costly turnovers, turnover after turnover it felt like, on each possession. So, both teams are talking, both coaches are talking to their teams about lowering these turnovers here in the second half and passing the ball around to get an open shot because, man, Bixby's had a few good looks, but, man, these turnovers are just kept going up there in the first half.
The score aside, just because it's so even right now, who do you think has an advantage in a game that's played this way, assuming it stays that way into the third and fourth quarters?
I think Bixby does, just because I think they're the more physical team, and they have a little more size than what Ponca City has. I feel like Bixby can win a game like this, but if you want to do that, you got to knock down some free throws at the strike. When you get to the free throw line and you draw a foul like that, you better knock them down, especially in a game like this where points are just hard to come by.
Bixby 3 for 7 from the free throw line. Ponca City is 2 for 4 from the stripe. Well, we've got an intriguing second half coming up as Bixby and Ponca City both try to keep themselves in the win column. Bixby looking for win number 1 on the year in game number 1. Ponca City looking to start 2-0 after an 80-72 win over Southmore in their season opener. The second half is next on KREFSports.tv.
Spending life wisely means taking small steps towards a life of love and impact. And we're here to inspire and empower you along the way. Spend life wisely. First United Bank.
A tour 5 decades in the making. Air Supply. 50th anniversary celebration. Friday, January 17th, 7:30 p.m. Civic Center Music Hall. Air Supply, performing their iconic hits in one night. Tickets online at okcciviccenter.com or by phone 405-594-8300. Air Supply, live. Presented by Civic Center Foundation.
Life doesn't wait for you to slow down. When you're moving fast and something doesn't feel right,
Advanced Orthopedics of Oklahoma is here to help you stay in motion. Through our combined expertise in orthopedic surgery, non-surgical medicine, and comprehensive whole patient treatment, our team has your back and every other joint too. Ready to get back out there? Visit AOOK.com and let's move forward together. Advanced Orthopedics of Oklahoma. Heal, recover, advance.
Well, both teams are going to try to find some peace offensively as we go into the third quarter in this opening round matchup
in the Spartan Invitational here in Bixby, Oklahoma, as the host Spartans lead Ponca City 17-14 as we're moments away from the start of the third quarter. We're presented by Communication Federal Credit Union here on KREFSports.tv. Open up your free student checking account and get a free debit card at Communication Federal Credit Union today.
Yeah, no matter who wins or who loses, the next round game is going to be a good one. We saw a battle with Will Rogers and Piedmont. They came all the way down to the wire. So those are two solid teams that played in the first round here in this tournament.
Will Rogers awaits the winner of this game. Bixby has it first to begin the third quarter, up by 3. Grayson Singleton, Connor Pasby here with you. Appreciate you joining us here on KREFSports.tv. We're in game number 6 of our 8-game slate in our Bixby Invitational opener today. Both teams, or rather Bixby with their original 5, and the Spartans start off the third quarter as they started the first quarter with a Griffin Stewart layup to give him 10 points on the night, the first player in the double figures.
That's how you want to start the third quarter. Get a shot, draw up a play to start this third quarter to get on the board.
And another turnover for Ponca City as Trent Wilson touched it last. It's Wilson, Landis, Dugash, Miller, and Putman. So a lot of changes for Ponca City coming into this half, and now King throws it away. Third quarter picking up where the second quarter left off.
Exactly. Ponca City has one, then Bixby's got one.
One more Ponca City turnover, and they'll have as many giveaways as they do points. This is Miller spotting up for 3. It's off the back of the rim, and Knight has the rebound and now pushing for the Spartans. Sean Lewis working against Landis, weaving his way into the paint. Forces up the layup. It's off the front of the rim, and Miller clears for Ponca City.
Good handling to get to that mid-range area. He just made the shot. That's a really difficult shot to make for Lewis.
And there's the 14th turnover for Ponca City to match their 14 points. Knight for 3 on the other end. Too strong, but it bounces in.
He deserves that, man. He's been close in that first half, knocking down threes. Has so many good looks, and he gets the shooter's roll there.
Miller, tough fadeaway, misses everything. And Tay Akers quickly jumps off the bench for Ponca City.
Great job by Lewis to kick that out to Gage Knight to knock that down. Ball went straight up and down.
Bixby has opened up its largest lead of the game at 22-14. King looking to add to it, and he does.
There you go. Now the threes are starting to fall. Chance King, his turn to knock one down.
And a timeout called by Ponca City. We'll step aside as Bixby red hot to begin the third quarter on KREFSports.tv, presented by Communication Federal Credit Union. So this is a lot.
Tell you the care I've received here at Advanced Orthopedics is wonderful, phenomenal. My knee had just deteriorated where it was bone on bone. Same thing for my hips. Going about my day-to-day activities, whether it was at work or with family, that was constantly on my mind. It affected my ability to sleep, ability to walk. I'm very happy with the staff here at Advanced Orthopedics. I'm so happy with the results that I've received.
Bixby out to an 8-0 start to begin the third quarter, prompting the Ponca City timeout. And the Spartans have seemed to find something taking advantage of the Ponca City turnovers and getting points in transition, Connor.
Yeah, and Ponca City's really corralling the inside because all the action that Griffin Stewart gets. And now you've seen Chance King and Gage Knight knock down some three-pointers, some open looks from the outside that they're finally able to knock down.
Brandon Jackson, the head coach for Ponca City, continuing to tinker with his lineup, trying to find a group that can give him some kind of traction offensively. Pass deflected, finds his way to Putman. The give and go with Akers, who puts it in with a foul. And a chance for 3 for Tay Akers.
That's how you break a press. The quick passes, get rid of it. And that's exactly what they do. Pittman able to get it to Akers, who finishes strong on the play.
Of the players in the main rotation for Ponca City, Akers has played the least amount of minutes today but leads the Wildcats in scoring as he stays put at 6 after missing the free throw. Up ahead, here's King, one-on-one to the basket, and the bucket waved off as King traveled.
I'm not sure if I saw an extra step, but the referee calls it. Either way, a good take. Chance King. Bixby was pushing the pace there on that fast break.
One of those hairy incidences where you have to figure out if a guy took that extra half step because they didn't put the ball on the ground.
Yeah, I guess.
Putman cutting into the lane, falling away, and draws the foul. And Stewart raises his hand to admit the personal.
Putman's been shooting from the outside, but now he gets involved inside. A pass that is thrown his way, and he's able to get a shot up and draw a foul.
Second foul against Bixby. Pardon me, as Putman flips in the first free throw. Putman splits the pair. He's got 7 to retake the team lead in scoring for the Wildcats. 25-17. 2.5 gone by here in the third. Stewart turns around and fades and hits.
Just waiting to get the basketball. He had good post position on Putman.
Wilson nearly threw it away, but Putman retrieves it in the backcourt. And now Putman fires it into the Ponca City bench.
Looked like he thought Trent Wilson was going to keep going that way, trying to lead him with the pass.
And these are the miscommunications that are all but natural in these first few games of a new season. Knight springs open for 3, bottom.
He knew eventually he was going to start knocking these down. He was letting them fly in the first half. He was just missing, but he's been on target here in the third quarter.
Second triple of the quarter for Gage Knight. The lead is 13. Wilson trying to answer, can't do it. Stewart clears and pushes it for Bixby. Bounces it to Knight. Down low, Stewart against Akers. And Stewart couldn't corral it after dribbling it off his foot. And it's out of bounds to Ponca City.
It's that last 3 by Gage Knight. Coming off a screen from Griffin Stewart at the top, and he's able to drill that one.
Aaron Hall comes into the game for the first time today for Bixby. Lance Kite's rotation has reached 10. Full court press and a takeaway. Knight walks into the 3. Left it short. Lewis with the offensive rebound. His kick out attempt deflected. Watkins had it for a moment. It's taken back by Ponca City. Akers fires from the left wing. Too strong. The rebound loose, and Hall had it, but he found himself out of bounds with the ball underneath him, so Ponca City gets a second opportunity.
Yeah, Anderson and Hall fighting for it as the ball was going out of bounds.
And Hall with a scrappy couple of minutes, and Stewart comes back in to the game to replace him. Anderson inbounding to Dugash, who finishes.
That's just too easy. No one accounted for Dugash right in front of the rim. You don't like to see that if you're the Spartans.
Anthony Walters driving baseline, got the step, and laid it in.
It's a great take down the baseline, a difficult shot to make, but he's able to get through those 2 Ponca City defenders.
Akers lets it fly from the corner. Might have been blocked, but it found its way to Costello. And Costello, rambling his way to the basket, draws the foul.
Yeah, you see Costello here just fighting underneath. There's a lot of bodies down low that he's getting physical with, and finally he's able to get hacked on the wrist by Stewart.
The foul called on Sean Lewis. That's his third. And the third team foul against Bixby in the quarter. as Costello puts in the first free throw for his first point of the evening. And Costello makes it a perfect trip. 11-point advantage for Bixby, approaching 3 to go in the quarter. Lamar Lewis curling to the free throw line. Walters behind him tonight. Anderson out there to check him. Lamar Lewis into the lane. The floater left short. Lewis got it back and gets belted up top as he goes up for the second opportunity, and he'll shoot 2.
Good job following his shot and fight to get that offensive rebound.
Went into the trees for the Wildcats for that one. Lewis 1 for 3 from the free throw line, now 2 for 4 after making that first one. More changes for Ponca City. Zayden Stoll, who started the game for the Wildcats, comes back in. Trent Wilson back in as well. Lewis 2 for 2 on that stripe. Bixby extending the defense. Ponca City gets it across. Sean Lewis nearly took it away and goes crashing into the first deck across the far sideline. Now, if my little brother dropped me like that, tried to help me up, we would have some words after.
You'd have some words, yeah. It would not be friendly.
Man, you have to get me up if I go crashing into something like that. Shout out to my little brother.
Yeah, shout out to him.
13-point game. Bixby on top as Stoll throws it to the referee on the far side.
Thought he had a guy over there. There's just no one in the facility.
17th turnover for Ponca City. Lewis tried to hit the rolling Cook, couldn't do it. Knight has been on a heater in this third quarter, and it continues as he sinks the elbow jumper.
That's a good looking jumper, a pull-up game right at the free throw line to drill it.
8 of his 10 points have come in this frame. Costello trying to answer from the same spot, can't do it, as Stewart has the rebound, had it ripped away, and it's a loose ball foul going the other way, as the foul committed by, I believe it was Costello, potentially jumping over his back.
Yeah, Costello and Griffin Stewart fighting for the basketball. They've been fighting all day long. There's been a battle down there. Same with Dugash.
The call was on Costello, his second, and the second Ponca City foul of the quarter. The Bixby lead has swelled to 15. As the Spartans have outscored Ponca City in this quarter 19-7.
Yeah, that's because they're starting to hit shots. They were having some good looks in the first half that was just not going down, and that's kind of why the score was so close at halftime, and those shots are starting to fall, especially from Gage Knight.
Coming up next, we'll have the nightcap of the girls' side of the bracket. It'll be Will Rogers and Fort Smith Northside, the team from Arkansas that is very intriguing to both Connor and I. That's a good program out there, athletic-wise, top to bottom.
Just by, doing some research on them, just looking at their website, their athletics page is quite the thing. They got some good, talented teams, and it'll be no surprise that they'll have a good girls basketball team here at the tournament.
So the winner of that game will take on Booker T. Washington, who had a dominant win over Piedmont in the 1 o'clock window. Sean Lewis to the free throw line. And he's short on the first. Aiden White comes in to replace Aaron Hall. And Lewis splits the pair. (37-21). Approaching a minute and a half to go in the quarter. Anderson bounces out to Putman. Good closeout by Stewart. Wilson lets it fly. And Lewis outbattles a couple of Ponca City players. Zayden Stoll in there for the rebound and then throws it off of Stoll.
Yeah, Trent Wilson can't buy one today. He's been jacking up some shots from three. You can tell he's got a good stroke from the three-point range. Just haven't gotten any to fall today.
37-21, timeout Bixby late in this third quarter. Bixby has 3 timeouts remaining for the game. Ponca City left with 2, and has the third quarter sort of become more of an aesthetic basketball game that we were thinking we were going to get at the beginning.
Yeah, the turnovers are lower than they were in the first half, and Bixby moving the ball a lot better than they did early on in the game, and it's starting to show the shots that they are getting. And it's been one and done a little bit for Ponca City on the offensive end, not being able to hit any shots from the outside other than a few three-pointers from Putman, but nothing from any of the other guys.
You know how time flies when you're in the same spot for the same time? It's already 6:30.
It's crazy. Yeah, we're staying on time here in this tournament.
Walters smokes the layup and then goes to the ground to retrieve it. What a hustle play by Anthony Walters. Knight, a couple of dribbles, sprays it back out. Lewis, down low, Walters. Good find by Lewis. Walters finishes it, plus the foul. And now the offense starting to get its footing for Bixby late in the quarter.
Great find. I love how that ball ended up with Anthony Walters, the kid that hustled for it near the baseline to get it back, to give his team another crack at it, and he's able to convert the and one here.
Walters off on the free throw. Stewart with the offensive rebound. Bounces it to White, who finishes. And Aiden White gets on the board. The lead is now 20. And Wilson traveled. He moved his feet before putting the ball onto the floor.
Had a defender right in front of him, tried to go around him, but forgot to take that first dribble.
An explosion in this third quarter for Bixby. They have more points in the quarter than they had in the first half. White tried to split a couple of Ponca City defenders. Anderson came out of there with it and then threw it across the sideline looking for Wilson. Bixby gets it in quickly. Here's Sean Lewis. Goes right by Miller and reverses and can't finish. Miller with the rebound and the foul in the backcourt called against Bixby. And the Spartans had that one to give with 31 seconds to go in the third.
Good job by Aiden White being physical with the ball right in the middle, trying to get it away from those Bixby defenders.
Miller inside out to Putman, looking for his third triple, and he rips the cords and brings Ponca City within 17.
He's been the guy that's just been hitting from the outside, giving his team a chance here.
Referee on the far side said that Walters touched that one last. So Ponca City gets it back with 16.6 to go. Anderson. Landis looking for some breathing room. Putman now, and a foul before he got the shot off. And that puts Bixby over the limit. And Thomas Putman, who has 10 for Ponca City, will shoot 2.
Try to get to Putman, see if he can get a three-point attempt right before the buzzer, but he gets fouled and go to the line.
Lamar Lewis called for the personal, his second. Putman now with 11 off the bench for Brandon Jackson and the Wildcats. Stoll comes back into the game, as does Wilson, and Miller and Landis take a seat as Putman goes 2 for 2 from the line. White gets it off, and it falls short. And the third quarter comes to a conclusion after an offensive exhibition put on by Bixby. 41-26, the Spartans with a 15-point cushion as we go to the fourth on krefsports.tv.
Check rock. All right, bet. Hard.
Dang, man, all these cards. Are we going to even get a play next?
Let's run it back.
Hard. Man, who picked this court?
Visit Fowler Dodge, proud partner of OU Athletics.
You feel it yet? Prices rising and fees increasing, going up on just about everything. So you're going to find a way to offset that and get a bit of it back, right? Switch your banking to PayMe Checking. It's free and it's only from Communication Federal Credit Union. The PayMe Checking debit card gives you real cash back when you use it online, in stores, in apps, or at the pump. It all adds up, and the free PayMe account helps you get a bit back every day. Visit any Communication Federal branch or go to comfedcu.org.
Ready to begin the fourth quarter in this opening round match of the Bixby Invitational, and the Spartans outscore Ponca City 24-12 in that third quarter to build this 15-point advantage. 41-26 as we start the fourth. Another Ponca City turnover, and here comes Knight, and he's fouled on the break as Wilson lost his footing and stumbled into him.
Yeah, third quarter explosion for the Bixby Spartans, and Gage Knight coming alive there in that third quarter, really out of the locker room. He was starting to hit some shots from three.
Knight has 10. 8 of those came in the third quarter. Lewis tried to enter to Stewart. Stewart volleys it to keep it alive tonight. King. Walters. And now Knight settling the offense. Trying to drive baseline, cut off by a couple of Ponca City players. Lewis knifing his way to the basket and leaves it on a feed for Watkins, who smoked the layup. Stewart cleaned it up and draws the foul, and Brandon Jackson frustrated at his team's inability to get the rebound.
First off, it was Lewis finding Walters, who missed a gimme, but Griffin Stewart able to get that offensive rebound.
Stewart missed his first 2 free throws of the game and has since came back and made 3 in a row. And, of course, as soon as I say that, he misses one.
There you go. A little bit long on that one from Stewart.
Stewart now 3 for 6 from the line. 42-26. Grayson Singleton along with Connor Pasby here from the 918. Lewis going for the steal, able to dislodge it away from Dugash. It finds its way into the hands of Akers. His push shot no good, and Knight goes down low for the rebound. Ahead to Lewis, has a step on the baseline, contorts and finishes.
Very difficult. I thought he was going to possibly kick that to the corner, but he takes it all the way and makes a crazy finish at the rim.
Lewis has been everywhere in the game for Bixby and now has his first field goal. Wilson with Walters watching him. And the ball knocked around again. Walters to the ground. Miller to the ground. So does Akers. He stayed somehow in the front court. Wilson scooping it around. Walters draws the foul as the layup falls off, and Wilson will shoot 2.
See bodies go flying again right at the half-court line. Good take by Trent Wilson. See if he can get on the board here. It's been a rough night shooting the basketball for Trent Wilson, so he needs to see one go down here on the free throw line.
Wilson looking for his first point of the game. And he gets it. Wilson goes 2 for 2, and Thomas Putman checks in, and Wilson takes a seat. The lead is 16. 2 minutes gone by in the fourth quarter. Walters draws the foul as he makes the quick move to the basket. Got Adriel Miller up in the air. And for Miller, that's his first foul.
Starting to see Anthony Walters be a lot more aggressive in this second half, being a scoring threat for this Bixby offense. At 6'2", he's got a little bit of length to him.
Misfires on the first free throw. But his activity has told the story of his night, as he's been flying around, sliding around on the ground as well.
Yeah, really him and Sean Lewis are pretty similar players that they have on the floor. Both guys that can do a lot more than just offense. They can be freaks on defense.
The lexicon of Connor Pasby, a freak on defense. As one of those guys you mentioned, Sean Lewis gets called for the foul. Nearly got the block on Tay Akers.
It shows his athletic ability to sky up for that. Some guys that can get off the floor, and that's one of them, and Sean Lewis.
Lewis just picked up his fourth as Akers rattles home the first free throw. Lamar Lewis's brother comes on to replace him. Akers now 4 for 5 from the stripe today. He's got 8 points off the bench. Walters galloping to the basket, missed the layup, but got his own miss. Lewis spots up for 3 and rips the cords.
It's Walters just not giving up on a shot to get that offensive rebound and kick it out to Lamar Lewis.
Lewis with 5 on the night. Another turnover as Putman throws it right to Walters. Knight at the controls. Plays a 2-man game with Stewart. Lewis enters into Stewart. Here comes the double, and Stewart throws it away. Miller was in the passing lane. 2-on-2 as Miller glides to the bucket and scores.
Good job on focusing on that. Usually when guys go coast to coast like that, they're trying to draw a foul, but Aiden White was able to put it home.
How about Griffin Stewart on the offensive glass today, as he earns the second opportunity and a trip to the line?
Yeah, he's been constantly going after those offensive boards. Good job avoiding going over the back. Use that 6'6" body to grab that basketball, and Ponca City had no other choice to just hack him.
Tay Akers now, who's given Ponca City really good minutes, has to sit down with 4 fouls. That foul's the 4th on Ponca City in the quarter, so Bixby will shoot on every Wildcat foul from here on out. 1 for 2 from the line for Stewart. Dugash threw it away. Copeland kept it alive. Lewis to the ground. And a whistle. And now Brandon Jackson and the near side official have some words.
He's trying to get a timeout, but I don't think neither team really had possession. Both teams going battling for it on the floor.
And now the two. With a handshake, they make up.
There you go.
Now, was there a foul called, or what happened here? Was there a kick?
Possibly a kick. I just saw the referee point toward the sideline. I don't know if there was any foul called.
There wasn't a foul called. There wasn't a timeout called. That's what I thought Brandon Jackson was trying to get in. Either way, Ponca City gives it away to Bixby. Lewis to the bucket, takes the contact, and puts it in. Lamar Lewis off the bench has been a spark plug for Bixby.
Yeah, he's been nice to have in this offense in the second half. That's a really good take Got that bounce, good roll from Anthony Walters, and has a chance to cap it off.
Lewis with 10 points off the bench. Connor Cook with the offensive rebound and just flips it over his head off the glass with the English, and a 4-point possession for Bixby.
Didn't really have a good look at the rim, just threw that thing up, and he's able to get it go.
Walters out on the run for Bixby. Leaves it for Cook. Shovels it back to Walters. Walters spotting up from 15, rolls off. Costello clears for Ponca City. This game just continues to get wilder and wilder. Dugash with it. Looking for help. Finds Landis spotting up from the corner. Can't hit. Offensive rebound to Dugash. Putman tries from the corner. Only his second miss from 3 in the game. And Landis gets hit. Trying to convert a third opportunity, so more free throws coming for Ponca City.
Another good look from 3 for Putman that couldn't drop, but the fight for it by Landis to get to the line.
Bixby up by 21. And now Landon Kite continuing to make substitutions. Caden Davis, Aaron Hall, Sean Lewis back into the game. Knight, Watkins, or Walters, excuse me, and Stewart to the bench. One more upcoming for Landis. And AJ has his first point of the game. Under 3 to go in this one. Hall from way downtown off the backboard. And rebound Karams to Putman.
Shot it with confidence, though, right when he got that basketball. He let it rip from way downtown.
Not having to teach confidence is a good thing for a coach, I'll tell you that.
That's nice. You got the green light.
Putman harassed, now has to back it out. Now doubled and launches it over the head of Dugash and out of bounds. The 24th turnover for Ponca City.
And that defense again just forced Putman to get rid of it. And just do that way over the head of Dugash.
Sean Lewis will pull from the right wing, and he knocks it down.
And now he's showing his range. It's been a lot of mid-range and getting to the basket by Sean Lewis, but this time it's from the three-point line.
Ponca City about to wave the white flag and empty its bench. Lewis nearly had another steal. Costello skipping it to Akers, and it ends up in the hands of Colton Strasner, except the problem is Strasner's on the bench.
There you go. Man, just that's back-to-back times now for Ponca City where they just throw it way over the head of a teammate. You just can't have those turnovers that like they did in the first half, just continuing to pick up throughout the game.
So Ponca City does, in fact, empty its bench. Down by 23. Lewis draws the blocking foul. 1:44 to go in the contest as Bixby poised to go to 1-0
on the season and set up a date with Will Rogers tomorrow afternoon at 2:30. Lewis off on the first one. Strasner into the game as he takes the spot of Ben Anderson. Elijah Buffalo Head,
Diego Hernandez in as well. Donovan Harjo. And Trent Jackson. That's the 5 for Ponca City right now. Harjo trying to slash his way to the basket, lost it. Lewis, Hall with a quick trigger again. This time can't get it to go. Connor Cook cleans it up underneath for the Spartans.
Connor Cook has some length too. At 6'5", another big guy that the Spartans play.
Hall getting dirty on the floor. And he scoots it to one of his teammates. Bixby comes away with it again and then throws it away. Strassner shovels it to Hernandez, who hits the three. Only the fourth three-pointer of the day for Ponca City. White can't convert the stick back. Connor Cook can.
Connor Cook again cleaning up the glass and getting another score underneath the basket.
Wasn't there a Michigan State quarterback named
It
Connor
is.
Cook
It
at
was
one point in
Connor
time?
Cook, yes.
I was like, where have I heard this name before?
Unless he wanted to come back and play for Bixby basketball, maybe.
He was a good player at Michigan State, too.
He was,
wasn't he?
yeah.
Ball goes out of bounds to Ponca City. So it started out a little bit sloppy, but Bixby really gathered its footing offensively and turned in a very good second half. They ended the first half with 17 points. Bixby has scored 43 in the final two quarters, and that will do it as the Spartans ride a hot final 16 minutes to a 60-38 victory in their opening game of the season over Ponca City. Connor.
Yep, and great performance for Bixby. A slow first half. We had a close game at halftime, but then an offensive explosion for the Spartans in the second half. You had Gage Knight to start to catch on fire. Anthony Walters doing a lot for